A lot of people aren't going to risk their hard-earned money on a new brand or something, or take that chance on a product that they don't know, right? Everyone knows Nikes. Like, those are nice Nikes. They're nice shoes, whatever. But I'm a new brand, MASF. Who the hell's that, So it's like, I want to grow that brand. Give you a T-shirt, whatever, and I'll end up getting you as a customer for my other stuff too, because now my products are good, you know what I stand for, etc. And that's what I did. I just grew the brand like that, and we did like 150,000 in T-shirt sales my first year.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
What's going on, everybody? DJ Julian Rivera here with another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. Yes, I'm going to ask in the beginning, just in case you're not doing that, like, subscribe, follow Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and just like always, we have a special guest, but we do have our co-host in here, Edgar the Sphere Munoz, feeling a little bit better, ever since he came back from his residency in Vegas. We got the one and only Steven, I'm the guy, Doe, right here to my right.
I'm the guy.
Your left, depending how you're looking at it, but our very special guest in here, Mitch Aguiar. Did I say that right?
Aguiar, yeah.
Aguiar. I said it right, 2 syllables, like he told me to. Mitch, I'm going to let him introduce himself. You've seen him probably on a ton of other podcasts. You might have seen him in a UFC fight. Former Navy SEAL, just a owner of MASF Supplements. He has a resume, but I want you to understand that the guy that you're talking to knows what he's talking about. And the mindset that we're going to dive into today in the peaks and valleys of your peak life is going to be really dope. Mitch, thank you for being on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Damn right, bro.
Yeah.
I also want to start out and apologize by the fact that you know Steven so well that he feels that I feel like he's probably wasted your time more than the other way around.
No, I definitely wasted his time more.
And you guys actually knew each other because his brother, he trains with you, right, in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, his brother's a 3rd degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I'm a 1st degree black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So we met back in 2012. So 12 years ago, I met his brother, trained in jiu-jitsu, and we became close friends and worked together. Like when I actually started my social media journey and everything, which was to basically give back to sponsors for my fighting. His brother Mike had a background or hobbyist of videography.
Yep.
So and like we both have good senses of humor and stuff like that. So we would think of like funny comedy skits and everything to bring to life, and we would film them. And it was funny because I remember when we first started Instagram, we would go out, we'd think about a comedy skit, we'd go out, shoot it, put it all together, go home and edit it, and then we'd post it on my page, and we would like refresh it every minute, and we're like, we got another view. Yeah, nice. And and then it happened pretty quick, honestly. Like I ended up gaining like 50,000 followers the first year or something.
Nice.
So it was pretty quick. And, and I remember he was just like excited too with me, and then I launched my apparel brand off of that. He's been there from the inception of all that. So that was kind of cool to see, but I could never get him to quit his job. And I wanted him to quit his job and come work for me and be like a full-time videographer. But
it's a dope thing.
Yeah.
He was just like, nah, man, I'm pretty comfortable with my job because his job is pretty easy. He's got a cush job. He makes pretty good money, and it's just like low risk. And being an entrepreneur is very high risk.
And it's that mindset. You have to have that mindset.
It's a mindset.
Shift.
You got to have it for sure. And he just played the safe route, and always frustrated.
We're still working on that.
Frustrated the hell out of me because I'm like, I really need that. I really need that in this industry, in social media world. You need like, and I can be a polarizing figure, because I'm very blunt. I say what whatever the hell I want to say. I don't pander. I don't care. I just speak truth and how I see it. Right. Like I don't intentionally try to offend people or harm people or anything. My intentions are never bad. But, we just live in a society where people are very emotional and, and things are very tribal and, it's either black or white, and that's not reality, right? Like oftentimes things are gray areas, but I just say things how they are, and how I see it. And that can obviously be, rub people the wrong way, but Mike knows me, and like, so it's like I wanted to be surrounded by people that knew me, that I don't have to tiptoe around. I have no interest in that,
right.
Because I just want to get shit done, and I want to, focus on the mission. I don't care about your feelings. Like, we got to get this done. So I wanted to work with Mike, but again, couldn't get him to leave the safety of the nest.
I mean, the cool thing is, though, you guys are still boys to this day, literally.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But then he saw everything from inception. I mean, from you literally starting to sell T-shirts out of your bedroom to now. So kind of give us like the nutshell version of the story on where you're at.
Yeah, he saw me going from paycheck to paycheck in the military, and then when I started my business selling a couple T-shirts to making $500,000 a month, and I'm like, you still won't make the leap, bro? like you've seen me do this. I'm capable, and I'm doing all this without you. I would do much more with you.
Now, hold on. When I know you. Well, he trained some of our agents out there. He spoke to our agents. When you said, or you decided to start selling T-shirts, obviously, did you get the screen? Did you get a machine? Like,
no.
Where did this come about?
No, I was just always like a T-shirt snob.
Okay.
And I like T-shirts, and what had happened was, when I started fighting MMA and doing jiu-jitsu competitions and all that stuff, I started reaching out to businesses to see if they would sponsor me. And my way of giving back to them for the sponsorship was, well, I could make my walkout shirt, for my fights and have my logo of my character, the Smash and Frog, and Smash and Frog T-shirt. And then on the back, I told the sponsor I'm going to print 100 T-shirts for my supporters to wear at my fights and everything. And I'll put your business logo and website, whatever, on the back of my shirt, and so 100 people will be wearing it and advertising, and that was like the exchange, right?
Yeah,
nice.
And so I started doing that, and then all my local supporters bought the shirts and everything, and at the time I just had like 5,000 followers on Instagram, which I thought was crazy. Going from zero, I didn't even have social media, 0 to 5,000. Was like, wow, I don't even know 5,000 people. This is wild. And then I started having people reach out to me on Instagram, that lived in different states that I don't even know. And they're like, hey, can I get one of those Smash and Frog shirts? And I'm like, why? You don't even know me.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, I'm like, you don't even know me. And they're like, yeah, I want to represent. I'm like, okay. I thought it was weird, and I'm like, and I was like, I didn't have a website or nothing. So I'm like, yeah, just send this. And this was back.
This is before Venmo.
This was before Venmo,
true.
all that shit. And I'm like, all right, just like mail me a check, I guess, like $20, and I'll.
You gotta trust that.
And, and I sent I'll send it on good faith, and that's what I did. I literally did that for like the first 10 shirts I sold, and it was just so weird, seeing someone in a different state. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally like by hand, like, okay, what's your address? And going to the post office and mailing a shirt and waiting. Oh, I got a check, weird. And then like by like the 10th one, I'm like, okay, maybe I should like make a website or something. And I made a website and had, posted my pictures of my shirts and then it was like, man, I felt like I was Jeff Bezos, I just made Amazon or something because the customer like had already filled out their info and I just hit print on the little sticker, I didn't have to handwrite the envelope. I was like, man, I just made Amazon.
But you're winging it. You're kind of winging it.
Oh, yeah. No, I had no idea what I was doing.
In true entrepreneurial fashion.
Just figured it out.
Fail forward, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah. And then I started seeing people, online posting they're wearing the shirts and stuff. Man, that's cool. That's cool. And I really liked seeing people wear my shirts. Just I get ego, whatever. It's just cool. Like people are, it's cool. Yeah, people are supporting.
Dope as hell. Yeah.
And and again, I'm a t-shirt snob, so I wanted like the tri-blend, comfortable, fitting, looking good shirts, and so I did that with those. And then people were like, "Man, I love your shirts," but I had a big green frog on. It's a Smashing Frog, and all these sponsors. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they're not gonna wear that like normally,
Yeah.
And it's funny at the time, as all that was happening, I started saying mindset is everything. And because I was, sort of trying to like be motivational to my followers at the time, because I don't know, like I talk about, like attitude is contagious, and positive mindset. I just wanted to put out good vibes and push people, encourage people to, push themselves, be the best version of themselves. And so I was saying mindset is everything. And it's funny, how I started, or where I started saying that was, Oscar.
Yeah.
Right. So Oscar is a mutual friend of Mike Doe and myself, and we used to train jiu-jitsu together. And Oscar is this little like 5'4", maybe, I don't know, 5'2". We'll say 5'5". Just he might be maybe 5'6". Who knows? He's short, but he's a break dancer, right? And a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. Very athletic, very capable. Like break dancing is very physically demanding, and you have to be in control of your body pretty well, right? Me, him, and Mike were like the three amigos, always going around and stuff. And we were at Mount Trashmore one day training, doing pull-ups. Muscle-ups, pull-ups and muscle-ups. And we were doing pull-ups on the pull-up bar, and I was, knocking out some muscle-ups. And Oscar was sitting there, and he's like, I can't do muscle-up. I can't do. And I'm like,
it's because you're telling yourself you can't do it.
You can't do a muscle-up? You're a break dancer.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't do a muscle-up. And this is a fit guy, And he's sitting there like, this negative self-talk, like, I can't. And I always say, like, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. The mind is powerful. And I told him, I was like, Oscar, I want you to mount the bar, and I literally want you to pretend, but believe it.
Right.
Like that if I don't do this fucking muscle up, like there's a gun to my head and they're going to pull the trigger. Like everything you have. And then he did 5 in a row. Went from 0
like
to I can't 0 to 5 in a row.
Yep.
And I'm like, did you just all of a sudden get stronger?
Yep.
No, your mindset. I said, mindset is everything.
Yeah.
And then I just started saying that more, mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. And I started, putting the hashtag, posting, saying that, just kind of coined the phrase,
Yep.
So then when I started, selling the T-shirts, I was like, people aren't going to wear the Smash and Frog shirt all the time, but I was like, maybe I could put like mindset is everything on a shirt, and so I bought some shirts and found a local print shop. I didn't do the screen printing and all that stuff myself, but I found a local small, like 2 guys, these two cool dudes that were kind of like stoners and just like,
That's the hippie side, right?
Yeah, but they just like started this little T-shirt printing business, And they were super cool guys. Is Wild Bill's Printing. They're no longer Wild Bill's Printing because they sold it, and they work now for the people that bought them, which is what they want. They always wanted me to buy them out as I got bigger. But they're super cool dudes, super nice, and that's how I started printing. And I stayed with them for a very long time because I started with them. I'm a loyal person.
Yeah.
I started with them. And, but they always had like good attitudes. They were always like happy to see me. They were always happy to do the work. And I'd be like, as I was growing, I'd be like, hey, I need this done like extra, I need it done now. And I'd pay extra. And they're like, all right, but we just always had a good relationship. But anyway, so I made the first shirts, the Mindset is Everything shirts. And I made like 30 of them.
But it's such a great motto. I mean, mindset is everything. It's if you believe, it'll happen. Yeah. It's so crazy.
With the effort.
Yeah, with effort. Yeah.
And it's not just believing, wishing upon a star.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But so I made like 30 shirts just as a test run. Let's see how this does, And I put them up on the website and posted about it. Said, hey, these shirts are live, and boom, sold out right away.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, damn, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, well, now I guess I'll do it with 60 shirts. Boom, sold out right away. And I was like, okay, this is something.
I do have a few of them myself, but they're medium, so I don't fit them anymore.
Yeah, and so then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, this is cool. And then people are getting them, receiving them, and posting about them. And then more people are, oh, I like that shirt. That's right. That's true. Mindset is everything. They kind of relate to it. it started growing from there, and then I'm like, well, I got a couple other designs and sayings that like that hold value in my life. Attitude is contagious. Things I believe to be true. I'm just gonna put them on a shirt, and if they resonate with other people, they'll get them and wear them, and and that's like now these people. I thought it was cool. I'm like, these people are buying my shirts and representing my brand and advertising my brand, and they're conversational type shirts. When people see it, a lot of people all the time, people that don't know I own the brand, all the time will mindset. That's true. I like that. I'm like, oh, thanks. Here's, I own this brand.
Yep.
Or Attitude's Contagious. I had Don't Be a Pussy shirts. I had, Know Thyself. I had a lot of different, sayings and designs that I thought were cool and people would like. And, it turns out they did. And then, it's funny. I was just doing T-shirts for a while, and then I got into hoodies and hats, and then bracelets, and then and it was all like apparel at first, and then like the brand just started growing and growing. And the way I looked at it too was, I am growing this brand now. I'm buying these shirts wholesale from a wholesale distribution center or whatever. So I'm getting these shirts as blanks, and then I'm bringing them to a print shop and I'm printing on them, but everything is a markup in America, right?
Yeah.
That's how everything is. There's middlemen everywhere. So I get the shirt for like $4 something, and then get it printed. It's a one side print, one color, so it's the cheapest thing you can do. And it's the $1 a shirt to print it, right? And so I'm all in for like $5, and I was selling the T-shirts for $25. So the way I looked at it is, I can afford, if I sell one, I can afford to give away 4. Because now I have 5 people wearing my brand and advertising for me. Like that cost and value are different, right?
Yeah.
And that's like, I looked at that as almost like a marketing expense. And then the people are happy to receive the shirt, and I'm saying, hey, in exchange, will you, make a post wearing the shirt? And and I'm sending them to regular people, not influencers, right?
So how are you learning this stuff though? Like, you're just doing it, right?
This is all just my intuition,
So accidental
I didn't go to
entrepreneurship.
School for anything. I didn't go to school for business, nothing. This is just I feel like I'm Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing anything groundbreaking. I feel like, but I'm not really controlled by money too much. Like, obviously, I want money. Everybody wants money. We all need money, but like, I feel like a lot of people step over dollars to pick up dimes. They don't think about like the forest. They don't see the forest through the trees. Like I think long term, and I'm like, yeah, if I give away 4 T-shirts, now I have 5 people repping the brand, and I'm giving them to regular people, not influencers. But everybody like wants to feel special, right? Like, and it's like, damn, all these fucking influencers with millions of followers, and they all have money, they all get handed free shit, and it's like, bro, I'm struggling and I have to buy it full price. So people are very grateful to get a T-shirt, and it's like, and they feel like, oh damn, I'm like an influencer, I'll happily post it. And and like these influencers want, oh yeah, I'll post your shirt, give me $20,000. It's like, fuck yourself, like so. But then I'd rather have that regular person with 200 real followers that they all know, and they're like, oh, dang, that's a cool shirt. I like that. And it's like, oh, yeah, you should check out this guy's brand. He's a really cool dude, The shirt's really comfortable. They're not, like, again, it's not someone's trying to sell you snake oil or get a commission. It's like, these are real people, And it's like, you grow those grassroots, and the way I looked at it, too, was, like, I like to make those quality products so that it sells itself, and like I said, word of mouth is the best advertisement that money can't buy, So, and it's like, and I don't want people to, a lot of people aren't going to risk their hard-earned money on a new brand or something, or take that chance on a product that they don't know, right? Everyone knows Nikes. Like, those are nice Nikes. They're nice shoes, whatever. I'll take that. But I'm a new brand, MASF. What the hell's that, So it's like, I want to grow that brand. Give you a T-shirt, whatever. And I'll end up getting you as a customer for my other stuff, too, because now you know my products are good. You know what I stand for, et cetera. And that's what I did. I just grew the brand like that. And we did like 150,000 in T-shirt sales my first year. And
now, mind you, wait, that first year, you're still in the military.
I was still in the military.
You're still Navy SEAL at this point in time,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So then you're doing that. How far through that tenure did you realize, you know what? I think this is something that I can continue to scale outside of me being in the military.
Yeah, I started in 2016 with the fighting, or 15, and then I launched my brand. Like, I started selling the Smash and Frog shirts in 2016. Then I started selling MASF Apparel. I made MASF, which was, it stood for Mitch Aguiar Smash and Frog, MASF, which has now changed to Move and Stay Focused. Because I eventually want to sell the brand, and I don't want it too like attached to me.
Yeah.
You know, like Jocko, his brand is called Jocko.
Yeah.
Like, he'll never be able to sell that to somebody else without having to like be the face of it and be all this, you know. So
makes sense.
I want to like kind of distance myself from that and make it more about like, this is a brand, you know. People identify with this brand, not me. Like Violent Hippie is my other brand.
Right.
Like, that's something that someone doesn't have to know me at all, but when they see, oh, Violent Hippie, they're like, I identify with that, you know, like.
So Violent Hippie, is that just strictly the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, or is that an actual brand? That's a brand in itself?
It's an actual brand itself as well. And that's how it started. I started, it was just like an original, like a massive T-shirt, you know, Violent Hippie. But then I was like, you know what? I think that could be its own brand. You know, spin-off. And, you know, so I separated the two and made Violent Hippie its own brand. And for that same reason, you know, eventually I would like to sell Violent Hippie.
But a lot of what you're talking about here, man, is mindset, is discipline. And you were already in that, let's just say, for lack of a better word, mindset, because you decided to protect our country and become a Navy SEAL. And when you did that for 10 years, right? You did it for 10 years straight. And then how was the transition coming back to civilian life, but knowing that you already had a brand? And before you answer that, one of my main slogans that I have, two slogans that say, get in the room, because you never know what you're going to miss if you're not in the room. Showing up's half the battle. And the other one is, you are the brand, like my shirt here. Everyone is their own brand. And that's one thing that people don't realize. I don't care if you're working at an office and W-2 employee, or you're running your own business. You are the brand to an extent, but people don't treat themselves that they are at a certain level that they need to be in order to influence the other people around them in a positive way, whether it's mindset, whether it's getting more money, whether it's health, whether it's whatever the case may be. You're the brand, you're the brand, you're the brand, I'm a brand, but how do we want to utilize that to help other people? And it seems like you figured out how to do that while you were already serving our country. So when you came into civilian life, how did you pivot to even opening a supplement company to start helping people in that way?
I actually started the supplement company as well while I was in the SEAL team.
So you were entreployed this entire time. That's another thing to say.
So you always, it seemed like you always had an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. No, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I started, you know, like as far back as I can remember. I started like renting out Playboys when I was in elementary school.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Renting out, coming back, you can't open the pages anymore.
I mean, we're first grade, you're shooting blanks anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about sticky pages.
That's hilarious. That's
You can put that deposit down too, so
Facts.
you know,
That's
mess
true.
it up. You break it, you buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I got suspended for that. But, you know, got to make that money.
Facts.
Where are you from originally?
Virginia Beach. I'm actually from here. Yeah.
When you joined, did you stay here or did you go West Coast?
Yeah, so when I went to boot camp in Chicago and did Buds Prep there, and then I was there for, you know, boot camp and then Buds Prep for 12 weeks, and then went to San Diego for Buds, and I was out there for, you know, like a year and a half or something like that, and then I actually got orders to SEAL Team 5, which is on the West Coast, and I was excited because I was going there with a couple of my close friends from SEAL training. And then my family was like, yeah, I've got orders to SEAL Team 5. I'm going to stay out here in San Diego. My family's all on the East Coast. And so they were like, oh, man, we were really hoping that you'd go East Coast, you know, so we could be closer to you. And I was like, damn. Like, all right.
I know that's an easy swap with somebody.
Yeah, so I just switched. Oh, yeah. So I just switched, you know, SEAL Team 10, SEAL Team traded orders with some guy, with another classmate. And so we switched and he went to 5 and I went to 10.
So you traded in beautiful weather for humidity.
Yeah. I definitely should have. You know, everything happens for a reason, and it is what it is. And obviously my life wouldn't look the same, and, you know, who knows how it would have played out or whatever. But, like, I feel like there are very different attitudes versus the West Coast SEAL teams and the East Coast SEAL teams, and like on the East Coast SEAL team, it's like we're all like grumpy, fucking mad.
I think that's the Navy in general. That's
no, because it's the East Coast SEAL teams, and it could be the Navy in general too. But I'm just saying the East Coast SEAL teams is just like it's more of like a lifestyle where like it's Virginia Beach is not that big, you know, and we're all here densely here. SEAL Team 2, 4, 8, 10, Dam Neck, you know, like all of that is here.
Yep.
And it's not that big. So, you know, you go to work, you go on these trips, you're on the road 300 days a year. And then when you come home and you go anywhere, you see SEALs.
Yeah.
And like, we can pick each other out in a crowd like that. Like, you know, it's like, and especially like SEALs like wear a uniform outside of work. You know, it's like, you know, the sleeve tattoo, black truck, blonde girlfriend, you know, whatever. It's like, oh, that guy's a SEAL, you know, and you do carry yourself a certain way, but we just spot each other out left and right. So it's like you're never not. It's more of a lifestyle than a job, right? And on the West Coast, we have this like weird rivalry with the East Coast and West Coast team guys, but it's kind of only one-sided. Like the East Coast guys are like, fuck the West Coast guys, those Hollywood surf teams, you know, and the West Coast guys are like, what are you guys mad about? Right. We're going surfing, you know.
Yeah, you gave up your orders,
right? And they have more of like a job because they go to work, and then when they're home, like maybe one of them lives in Chula Vista, one of them lives in, you know, Point Loma, one of them lives in PB, one of them lives in, you know, IB, and like they're very spread out, and there's so much more people and more things going on. A lot of people have never even heard of a SEAL.
Yeah,
there. This town is Navy.
Yeah,
all day.
You know, it's Navy. So, you know, it's just like, and it's like you meet girls here or whatever, and as a SEAL, and they're like, oh, number or color, and you're like, nope, red flag. You know,
you've been there, done there. You know too much.
Yeah, it's so much bigger over there. Because I lived in IB, and it's like,
but it's not like that in California. It's like it's such a bigger population. It's just less saturated. You know, so I think you can have more of like a normal life.
Yeah,
you know, versus here it's just constant Navy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there's no escaping it.
How'd you go from SEAL to just fighting? Like.
Well,
was it pent up anger?
No. I grew up very aggressive. Like I grew up very protective of my little brother. He was fat growing up. He was a year younger than me. And my parents, you know, I had young parents. They were only 20 when they had us, and but they were very aggressive people, but in a good way, you know. And they were always like instilling, like, you know, you better be his protector, like. They're gonna, like, I was like a jock, you know, and he was not. He was a video games kid, you know.
1 year apart?
1 year apart, okay. Yeah, and a year and a half. And so it was like, you know, my parents were like, hey, he's gonna get picked on in school and shit, and like, you better stand up for him. You better beat these kids' asses like on the spot if they're messing with your brother. You know, let them know like that's not gonna be tolerated. And I took that to heart, you know.
Yeah.
And so I grew up fighting like all the time, and I grew up kind of with that like protector mentality of like, you know, defending those that can't defend themselves. And you know, I like to bully bullies. You know, it's like I have my own ethos, and in it says, you know, one of the lines is, my strength and aggression are a blessing, and I utilize them justly. You know, that's how I feel. So I kind of just, you know, was that way. It was that way my whole life, and and going into the SEAL teams, you know, it's kind of no different. And then, like, I've always just enjoyed fighting. I've always enjoyed it. It's not.
It's a sport. It's like a sport to you.
Yeah, kind of. And like, you know, it's just a way of life in a way. Like, I thought warrior culture was badass. Spartans, you know, like, just that's like what I view as like man shit. You know,
right.
Like, it's good to be a protector. There's nothing attractive about being a fucking someone who's weak and can't defend themselves. You know, I've never been in that position, and I never want to be in that position. And because like I've seen you're vulnerable, you know, and people will take advantage of you. They will try to push their
test you,
you know, for that. Whatever. Yeah. And so, and especially like bullies and stuff. And, you know, as you get older, you learn like hurt people and stuff, you know, but growing up, like you don't know any of that. And you're just like, there's good people and bad people. And like, this guy's an asshole and I'm going to, you know, stick up for these people. So, you know, it's just something that I always found to be valuable. And, you know, and it's very primal. There's what is more primal than that? Like when people, you know, get in disagreements or whatever, like it eventually boils over into boom, physical combat, you know?
Yep.
And so it's like the most ultimate kind of primal way to dispute shit, you know? And it's like, at the end of the day, we get into it and I beat your ass. Guess who's right? Guess who won?
It's also true.
Hey,
So
to the victor belong the spoils, right? So,
But you've had a ton of fights, like your professional record. Like, what's your record? And tell us like about like your favorite fight that you've ever been in. You're in MMA.
I've done like, I don't know, like 20 fights or something like that, and like 18-2.
Nice. Any by knockout?
A lot of them by knockout. I've only had one fight go to decision.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, or no, two fights go to decision.
Okay.
But you know, I'm a finisher. I'm not in there to play games, you know, and I'm not fucking sparring. I'm not trying to score points. I'm trying to end you.
Yeah.
You know, by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So,
What about the most notable fight?
I don't know. Probably my last fight that I did was probably the most notable to me, or most you know, meaningful maybe, because it was a fight that I redeemed. You know, I had lost to this guy previously, and
I think I watched that one. Yeah.
Probably.
Was that at that?
Everybody
at that
watched
concert?
it. It went number
yeah.
one on ESPN Sports Center top 10.
Nice.
And it was number one, and it was me getting knocked out.
Oh.
So,
that one.
Oh
yes.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that you redeemed
that's
yourself.
when I redeemed.
Yeah.
So I
saw
had
that
one
one
loss as
at
an
concert.
amateur, which I haven't been able to redeem, and I would maybe someday. Maybe we'll be 50 years old and get in the ring.
Right.
But you know, whatever. But this one, it was kind of like just, it is what it is, man. It just played out that way. But I was fighting on that Fort Eustis base, right? And it was in the LFA, which is like a feeder league to the UFC. I was fighting in front of the troops, right? And I fought this big, tall dude that was like 6'3", and his name was Mumia Abu De Ali, and he was my opponent. He's 6'3", really long reach and stuff, and so I'm in an American flag Speedo, you know, in front of the troops, fighting this dude. And when we go to touch glove, and everybody honestly thought I was very heavily favored to win the fight.
Right.
And you know, and I was very confident, you know, going into it. And when we start, bell rings, we come across, and like, I'm not sure if we're gonna touch gloves or not. But before I can even kind of wonder, like, boom, I'm already hit.
Damn.
You know, he had a long reach and just caught me.
Right.
And I was like, whoa, I'm like seeing stars right away. I'm on Queer Street, you know, and he's just in front of me. I'm just kind of sort of out of it, but I'm seeing like fists coming at me. I'm just trying to dodge. And I like get my bearings about me. And then I plant my feet and land a 1-2 and knock him down. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to get him. I like run over and I literally just trip. I run straight over. He's curled up in a ball, and I boom, right over top of him, fall because I'm still dizzy.
Okay.
and then we both stand up at the same time and swing at the same time. It was like a photo finish, and he just boom, right before I did. And I, you know, fall over, and it was kind of like a flash knockout. I wasn't like out unconscious, but I was just out of it. And then he like, you know, slammed a hammer fist down. Ref stopped it, and that went super viral, as you know, number one on ESPN Sports Center top 10, and you know, so I'm back in the locker room. I still got a headache going on,
right?
And you know, and I see it's on Instagram, like on that, and I'm like,
refresh it, right? 1 view.
It was 2 million, 5 million. You know, people talking shit. This guy sucks.
Right. Yeah.
All right, fuck that. And then you know, so anyway, so then later on, I had, you know, wanted a rematch with him, and I think because that was probably his most viral moment for sure, you know, and he was like, yeah, I'll do that again, you know, and
feeling all confident, like he can do it all over again.
Yeah, no, he was definitely confident, but he had a right to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and that was something for me. I had to really dig deep and overcome, because it was like, you know, that will definitely put a dent in your confidence, right? And then it's like, even though I believe I am better than this guy, and I think 9 times out of 10 we fight, I win, you know, but in reality, my only real experience is 1 of 1, he knocked me out.
Right.
You know, and like that was my only real experience. So you can try to fake it till you make it or whatever, but you know the reality, right? So, but that was good drive and motivation for me to, you know, I'm on the assault bike pushing, and it's like, man, I'm tired. I really don't want to get knocked out on ESPN again. you know?
On ESPN.
So I'll fucking do another set. And, you know, and I just like really prepared for it. But, you know, again, I'm still having this like little hurdle of this dude really like the first time we came into each other, like I was on Queer Street, he hurt me, you know, so I'm like sparring with guy that's 6'5", 250 pounds, like, so I'm like, no, it's going to be less when I have, I'm going to train harder than I need to, so that the fight's easier, you know, and it was really like in my head a lot, you know, even though I'm not afraid of anything, and I'm willing to do it, but still, it's like you got to overcome those nerves. You know?
Sometimes taking those L's helps you to be a better fighter.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you know, it definitely pushed me to train harder, because I didn't want that to happen again. You know, and then I'm in the locker room, and we're the main event. Yeah, you know, we're the main event for the championship, whatever. And
how many years in between though was this? Like
maybe like a year.
Okay, so not that long. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, maybe a year or 1.5 years, something like that. And I'm in the locker room like all the way up until like you walk out, you know. And it's weird being in the locker room, and I'm always the main event. You know, I've always been the main event. And so when you're in the locker room, like half of the opponents are here, half of them are here, right? And everybody's pumped up pre-fight. And then, you know, they go out and they fight, and then you have guys coming back like, yeah, whooped his ass. And then you have other guys, damn, he got fucked up. Right. So then, you know, it's good when your corner does good, right? And the guys come back, we got his ass. And you're like, yeah, I'm fired up. And then you come like, oh, shit, he got fucked up. You know, it's like, damn, that all plays in your head, you know, and you have to watch this, you know, 10 times
before you go.
Yeah, and it's like, what's going to happen with me? I don't know. You know, and I'm having to think about the last time. So I'm like, trying to just block that shit out and focus on my game plan. And I'm like, man, if I just need to get past that first fucking punch. Yeah. Because like in my head, I'm like, dude, that's the worst case scenarios. That same exact shit happens. Like we come together and he just hits
So you didn't touch gloves, right?
Oh hell no! I'm not touching gloves. And normally I always do, because I'm you know, I don't need to be angry to fight anybody.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's sportsmanship. And like as a professional fighter, it's like, bro, like in any to be a fucking professional man, you should be in control of your emotions. Yep. Right? And it's like, so I don't believe in any of that. Like I need to be mad at my opponent. I need to talk shit or whatever. Because in reality, you have more in common with that other fighter. Because fighting's a weird sport. Like that's why there's a lot of people. There's a lot of stellar athletes out there that would be amazing in MMA, but they're like, I'm not trying to get fucking punched in the face. Yeah. I'm not trying to fight, because you can get seriously injured. Like that's our game. It's not put a ball through a hoop. Yep. You know, it's literally get your ass whooped, you know, if you lose, and it's forever on you know,
ESPN.
Online. ESPN. Yeah, I just got knocked out on ESPN in a fucking American flag Speedo. Yeah. You know? Right. Not a great look, you know, and that and then like people, you know, and I recently fought Sean Strickland, which we can get into.
Yeah, that was cool.
And you know, got my ass beat for 25 minutes online, and it's
like,
but
just the opportunity to fight somebody like
bro, I'm literally recognized all the time for getting my ass whooped. You know? And it's like, damn, this sucks.
But what about the other 18 wins?
Yeah, no one gives a shit about those, because, right? But anyway, so you know, up until I go get ready to get out of and go into the ring, I'm like, just all right, fuck it. I just need him to not knock me out in the first hit, you know. And if I get past that, I'm good, you know. And so we get out there, and he's standing there across from me. I'm like, damn, it's just all right. Here we go. And I'm like, but at that time, I'm like, fuck it. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Yep. So let's go. Let's send it. And I've already done the work. I put in the work. I'm ready to go. So I'm like, I'm learning from my mistakes last time. I'm coming out, hands are up. We're not touching gloves. And in my mind, you know, I'm like literally like, if I just get past that first punch I'm good. And we come out, and I'm like, I'm not going near this motherfucker, right? Like, and then he like is standing across from me, and he throws a little kick, like, and just hits my shin, boom, and I check it. And in my head, I was just like, oh, I'm past the hurdle.
Yep.
And I was just like, you're fucked. You know? And I just took him down, boom, put him against the cage, fucking beat the shit out of him in like a minute and a half, something like that.
Was this at the TED or
Yeah.
Chartway? That's the fight that I saw.
That's the one I saw. That's the fight I saw.
And I like Donkey Konged his ass.
Yep.
You know, it was, but I felt very confident. Literally, like as soon as I took him down, I was like, "You're fucked."
Yeah.
And and it was just boom, go to town, do my thing, and not talking shit to him, but I got all the hard work I put in paid off.
Right.
But him knocking me out like that pushed me to work hard
Yep.
like that, and because I didn't want that same outcome. And and we're cool. We're cool. He's follows me on Instagram and everything, and now we're 101. So I'm
Yeah.
good with that.
Damn right.
That's how I
And,
feel when I play pickleball. I always beat the superior player. I'm a kryptonite.
It's all good. Yeah.
So he's talking about fighting.
Mike
We're
Doe
pickleball.
Mike Doe keeps trying to get me to play pickleball with him. I've played once.
I beat all the does.
I'm down. I grew
At
up playing
once.
ping pong, and so
You'd
Hey, you'd be good.
pickleball
You'd be good at it.
sounds, the idea of it sounds fun. So
See, but
It's
he's
addicting.
gonna hit it and it's gonna knock your ass out and fucking hit the ball. Watch.
You're that close.
Watch.
yeah, I'm down to play for sure.
And then the Strickland thing, how did that come about?
Yeah, so Strickland. So
I know
with
he goes around.
No. With my Instagram, my original account, it was almost 400,000 followers, and I got deleted during COVID because I was very outspoken against the vaccine mandates and all that bullshit. And at a time when no one was, because everyone was afraid to speak out because they were like threatening to delete your shit. And so everybody with a platform was like, I'm not risking, getting my shit deleted. But it was no bullshit. That was the most tyrannical shit we've ever experienced for real as a country in our lifetimes. Like you can't go outside.
But the crazy thing
the
is,
fuck?
you got deleted, and you still were able to build that thing back up.
Yeah, I'm on my 5th account.
Yes.
I got deleted 4 times.
Damn, dude.
Once at 400, almost 400, it was like 308 or 370,000, and then built it up back to 60,000. Got deleted. Built it up to 35, delete, 22, delete, and now I'm at like 135,000 or something.
Yeah.
And it's been like I've had this account for like 2 years, so we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like safe to say, all the
yeah.
shit that I was posting about when no one else was,
Right.
I was saying the vaccine does not stop you from getting COVID. The vaccine does not stop you from spreading COVID. Misinformation, delete and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah,
it's
now
like,
you can't even get a day off if you have COVID.
yeah.
Like,
And I'm like, so everything so you guys destroyed my fucking business and, took away my main source of income and my Instagram, like literally the most powerful tool I have.
Yep.
Because I had an opinion that was correct.
Right.
And there's no recourse for that or anything. It's just, fuck you.
But anybody should have their own opinion. That's crazy.
Well, especially when you fight for this fucking country. I've literally been to war.
Yeah.
Have fought for America and
Yep.
like our rights to be free. It's literally the first fucking amendment. But whatever. And it is what it is, man.
I mean,
Peaks
look
and
what-
valleys, right? That was a valley.
that was a
That was a fucking valley.
But the
And before that, it was a peak. I did 3.4 million in sales that year.
Yeah.
And then they deleted my shit.
Overnight. Like it's
Overnight
gone.
changed everything.
I mean, look at peaks and valleys. Look at
That's a valley.
Look at quote unquote freedom of speech, which was happening with Kimmel this past week, and it's like regardless what he says or
bro.
not, it happened, right? I don't care if you're right, you're wrong. It's
100%
comparable to what
Freedom,
what you're saying.
Look, and I just talked about this on the Mitch show last night. Because you got, and it's so annoying because you have fucking people calling to cancel Jimmy Kimmel and stuff for making a joke. And it's like whether you agree with the joke or not, or if it's tasteful or not, like you're allowed to have that opinion, but he's allowed to make that joke.
Of
like,
course.
And it wasn't even like that fucking bad.
It was not.
It was funny. I laughed at it, like, because it was about Trump. It wasn't about Charlie.
Right.
And like, and again, even if it was, he's allowed to say that shit, and you're allowed to
Like it or not
tell
like
him-
it.
Yeah, like it or not, or tell him to fuck off or not.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have to, make everything fucking politicized. It's so annoying. And like,
Yeah.
and then again, you need to keep your principles, like stand on something.
Yeah.
Like during the fucking what do you call it? The pandemic or the plandemic.
Yep.
Right. I don't say it was a pandemic. I say it was an IQ test.
Yeah.
You know, and but during that, right? It's like you had the fucking liberals that are like, my body, my choice, but then force a vaccine in you. You know, like they're pro-choice for abortion, but not. You know, when it's that, it's my body, my choice. But then it's, hey, I don't want to get a vaccine. No, you have to get a vaccine. You have to do this. Oh, so now I don't have bodily autonomy? Okay, cool. So you're a hypocrite, right? And then the same thing with the right now. It's like, you know, you guys complain and cry about cancel culture and all this shit and how fucking stupid it is. But then now you're the first ones, cancel him. He said a mean joke about Trump. Like, fuck. And it was
like that.
Stupid.
You know how many more jokes we've heard about him that are way worse and probably way more cancelable than what we heard recently?
No.
It's all, they pick and choose.
For sure.
That's the thing I'm
and
really
don't get it twisted. Like, you know, I think, like, you know, I posted that there was that kid that went up there and, you know, at a memorial, he's over there mocking Charlie Kirk's death.
Yeah.
And you know, they expelled him from the school. I don't think he should get expelled from the school. I think he should get his ass whooped. You know? Like, and that's the thing is, like,
there was a couple of students that got expelled.
Multiple.
And that's crazy to me. Like, but like, you know, I can see if you're vandalizing something, like, okay, but you're allowed to have an opinion. Free speech is meant to protect the speech you don't agree with.
Yep.
You know, and censorship is not fucking good. We've seen that over and over.
Yep.
Good ideas should just go to battle against bad ideas. And like, that's what, and may the better idea win. Let people decide for themselves. Think of a better argument. Be more convincing. You know, and like people are so tribal and they're so like, you know, they don't want to lose, right? And it's like it's just dumb. Like, you shouldn't be married to anything. If you're presented with new information that is credible and, you know, is irrefutably better, then you should adopt it, right? Like, fuck I'm not married to anything. If you present me with a better case or argument, and, you know, you need to be open to that and discern the information. What, you know, take it on if it's good. If it's not, leave it. Like, but you should be able to get more data, and make a better informed decision. That you're always going to make a better decision with the more data you have to go off of.
I mean, freedom of speech, freedom of choice. I mean, we're in America, right? That's really what
That's what it's for.
That's what it's for. That's what the laws, amendments, whatever you want to put out there, was literally put before we were even born here. Before we were alive.
There's a reason it's number one.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other thing with choices, and you've made a lot of choices and a lot of good ones, to be fair, as you've pivoted into your entrepreneurial journey. Like, you've affected people in a hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, in a positive way on getting their mindset right by losing weight.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have
definitely thousands.
Like, I'm sure thousands, and I'm probably not even giving you the credit and the flowers you deserve, but I was one of them. Like, you kicked me into gear twice. The first time, all right, I can do it. The second time, I'm fucking here. I'm doing it. And there's never a wrong way to go. You know, life happens, right? Positive mindset, half glass full, half empty. I'm a half full kind of guy all the time, turning a negative situation to a positive one. But you now started a challenge for people. Well, not started, it's been going for a long time. But what keeps that part going? And just so you know, just so the audience knows exactly, what is that challenge with the supplement company that you have?
The challenge is basically you can buy, I sell the product, the Smashing Greens. You can buy the Smashing Greens and you can go 10 days without any food whatsoever. You're just having the Smashing Greens. You can have electrolytes, black coffee, that kind of stuff. And you can have a protein shake, low sugar protein shake after each workout. You have to earn your protein shake. But that's the challenge. For 10 days, you do that. You just consume water, you know, electrolytes, the greens, reds, basically my products, you know, and but that's it. It's no solid food. So it's a mental toughness and discipline challenge. It's not a true fast in the sense like you're not depriving yourself of nutrients. You're actually saturating yourself with a bunch of organic nutrient dense superfoods. So you're going to be nourished and stuff, but you're not going to be getting that dopamine that we get from food, because food is a drug that people don't realize it's a drug, but it is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, food is a delivery of nutrients. That's what it is, but we use it as like emotional support. Like people eat for, you know, when they're stressed, they eat for comfort, they eat out of habit.
We all are.
You know, everybody is.
Yeah.
And you know, like we get dopamine from it as well. There's few things in the world that give you like real dopamine releases, right? Like food, sex, drugs, whatever. Like, you know, exercise, but exercise is hard.
Yeah.
You know, some people are fucking ugly and they don't get laid. You know, food is accessible always, right? And it is accessible to where we have manipulated this environment that we're in to where we can literally just sit on our ass and get food delivered to us with Uber Eats. But human beings, we're not meant to just effortlessly gorge on food. Right? We're hunters and gatherers. Like, we are meant to eat and then move and find new sources. And when we eat those excess calories, it's stored on us as fat for stored energy, right? In case we don't find food for the next little while. You know, bears eat a bunch of food and they get fat and they hibernate. It's all that energy, stored energy, so they can hibernate. Like, it's like, what do you think this fat on your body is? You know, it's excess. You're eating in excess. You need to be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. That is not rocket science.
So you eat out of necessity, not out of pleasure. Most people eat out of pleasure.
I literally eat out of pleasure. Like, you know, because the supplements that you take, that's what supplements are. They supplement the nutrients and vitamins that you don't get in your typical daily diet. And a lot of people have a fucking basic diet. Like, they just don't get, the average person does not get the nutrients that you should, the proper nutrients that you should, right? And that's why most people should supplement, because they would benefit from taking like a multivitamin, et cetera, whatever. So this blend of organic superfoods I have, like these superfoods, they're called superfoods because they have all these different benefits and all these different nutrients. They're loaded with these things that nourish your body in good ways, saturate your body with you know, vitamins, minerals, essential vitamins and minerals, right? And help you perform and feel your best and feel optimal. And you know, so I take these daily, you know, regardless if I'm fasting or not. I take these things daily. On top of then my diet, I still stick to single ingredient, whole natural foods, because that's how we were meant to, like, we're literally creatures that evolved, right? Like, in nature, you don't see fucking bread anywhere. You know, you don't, loaf of bread growing off this tree.
Valid point.
You know, you don't see pasta anywhere. Like,
yeast chilling right
this
here.
is the pasta plant. No, it's like, that doesn't work, you know? So, like, if you stick to single ingredient, whole natural foods, that's how we were meant to operate, right? Animal products, that's how many ingredients are in chicken? 1. How many ingredients are in steak? 1. How many ingredients are in broccoli? 1. Avocado? 1. Salmon? 1. You know, like apples? 1. Banana? 1. It's simple. Like, and that is like, fruit is like, but people go, oh, okay, I'll do that. And I'll just do fruit smoothies all day. And, you know, why am I not losing weight? Because that is also, that's nature's dessert, right? And people don't look at fruit like it's nature's dessert because we have so much sugar in our diet, right? And sugar is more addictive than cocaine.
It is. The headaches from the withdrawal.
And it makes your body weak, and like, and the bacteria in your gut will literally cause your brain to crave that sugar. You know, because it's easy energy, but then it's excessive. It's excessive, and most people are not hunting and gathering. Most people are driving to work, sitting on their ass at their desk, going home, driving home, sitting on their ass at home, watching TV, consuming calories all day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, alcohol. You know, it's very easy to drink a lot of calories as well. Like, and people don't realize or think about that. You got to stick to the single ingredient, whole natural foods, but you gotta like have the fruit be nature's dessert. And there's a difference between sucrose and fructose. Your body knows what to do with fructose, like that natural sugar. It's easy to understand, it's hard to employ. Right? Like, that's where the discipline comes in. And that's the whole thing with the challenge. It's a mental toughness and discipline challenge, because it's very hard to go 10 days without indulging in this drug that we're used to. And you're still going to be getting more nutrients than you probably will in your typical daily diet. So you're not going to have that physical hunger, because like, just like when you're thirsty and you drink water, then that feeling of thirst is quenched and it goes away.
Yeah.
You're no longer thirsty. Same thing with hunger. When you give your body nutrients, your hunger goes away. So physically, you are not hungry at all. And people would not be on day 10, I feel great, and I haven't had a piece of food in 10 days.
Right.
Oh, gosh, I'm starving, like a POW or some shit.
Yeah.
They don't feel like that. They feel like superhumans because they've been saturating themselves with organic, nutrient-dense superfoods for 10 days, and they've also eliminated all the bullshit and sugar out of their diet. So
the body's not working extra.
Right. We are a closed-loop circuit. There's only one way in. Like, we eat food and then digest it, and the nutrients get absorbed or whatever, but you are what you eat. That's a saying for a reason, right?
True.
So if you eat a bunch of bullshit, you're going to be a bunch of bullshit. If you eat a bunch of superfoods, you're going to be a superhuman,
So with that, I've done it twice on there, and the second time I feel it just kicked me in the gear, right?
Because you go into ketosis quicker, your body adapts.
Right. And I felt good. Like, I've also done a fast with not eating, like just straight water fast. I feel that a 3-day water fast, I'm drained, and I don't give a shit I worked out or not. I'm just not there, right? Black coffee is dope, but then when I'm actually doing this, to your point, even if I had a multivitamin or something during that time, it's just a different feeling. And the thousands and thousands of people you've done that. I do have a question, though, and I've never asked you this, from a gut health perspective, right?
Yeah.
People are having stomach aches, they're eating certain foods, it's not sitting the way that it used to. Some people can eventually become lactose intolerant. They can start becoming whatever the hell because your body is starting to break down, essentially. Do you feel that this helps reset the gut in some way to not eliminate that, essentially, but just to kind of give them a good kind of head start for the next 60, 90, 120 days or whatever?
Yeah, definitely. And I've had tons of people, tell me that it's helped their gut tremendously because the greens are loaded with prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes. So it helps break down all the nutrients out of the food that you do eat as well, and helps extract that nutrients better. Helps break down, the food, digest it more properly. The probiotics are good bacteria in your gut and everything. And a lot of people don't know or realize that a lot of serotonin is made in the gut, not just the brain.
Okay.
And your gut is it's just as important as your brain.
Gotcha.
It's a huge factor in your overall health. Mm-hmm. So gut health is very, very important.
And you do this like once every 90 days? I
do the fast usually quarterly.
Okay.
But it's a great way to, I'm human too. I like pizza, I like ice cream, I like all that shit like anybody, and it's hard to be disciplined 24/7,
Right.
And if it was easy, everybody would do it. But that's the difference between the people that are on a whole different level in life is discipline. They are all crazy discipline.
And you're doing the next challenge probably towards the end of the year?
January 1st.
January 1st.
But that's a group.
The website?
That's the group challenge where, a bunch of people will do it online, and I'll be posting everybody on my page. And it's cool. We have a community of supporters that they encourage everybody who's going through the challenge too. Because it's good to know I'm not the only one doing this. And there's other people that have done this before me, and they're telling, they DM each other hey, you got this, keep going. And it's oh man, I'm having a tough time. Oh, day 3 is usually always the hardest. You got to keep going, then you're going to feel great. Oh man, day 6 I'm feeling great. Thanks for helping me there. Thanks for encouraging me, and it's cool. It's cool to see people helping each other out. And, and I personally message every single person that does the fast throughout the challenge every day, and I'll tell you, hey, don't be a pussy. Keep going.
So in most fasts, though, they don't encourage working out. And most fasts because you're expelling a lot of energy.
No,
for this one you
this
can.
one you have the
you have to earn your protein, Okay. And that's the thing is I don't tell people this isn't something it's a fucking challenge. I call it a challenge for a reason. I don't call it a 10-day walk in the park. I call it a fucking 10-day challenge.
Right.
And I don't want you to find the most opportune time where you have the least amount of things going on and you're just going to sit in bed and just look at your watch for 10 days and get through it. No, fuck that. You're meant to endure it and face it head on and conquer it. You go about your normal fucking day. You go, and I'm I don't give a shit if you have a birthday party to go to or a wedding. Go to that motherfucker and sit there and drink your water, drink your smashing greens.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's about discipline and control of your emotions, control of your urges, control of your you are in control, not your mind. If it says this is what we're doing, your body fucking listens.
Facts. Yeah.
Like you're the conductor, but if you are a slave to this food, you can't even, the temptation of, I'm at a wedding and they have chicken here, I haven't eaten in 4 days.
My favorite pumpkin
I give
cheesecake.
up. Like, you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Like you're a bitch. Like, and that's all that you know that you're capable of is you can withstand 4 days. Can you set a goal and finish what you start? It's 10 days. Like for me, it is the easiest thing because it's just no negotiations.
Yeah.
I'm going 10 days without food. I'm doing this strict regimen, and that's it. I don't give a fuck what my emotions are about it. I'm just doing it because I said I'm going to do it, and that's enough. That's it. I don't give a shit about anybody else, what they're doing. What I eat or don't eat doesn't make you shit.
Yeah.
Right? So I can still go to these events, and I don't want you to feel sorry for me because I'm not a fucking victim.
Yeah.
I'm doing this by choice. I'm consciously suffering.
Yep.
I'm seeking this adversity and consciously suffering because that is how you forge and callous your mind and, create that unshakable discipline or whatever. And I can take this and apply it to anything in the world that I want to do.
It's ironic that I did that in your challenge. You have a pretty dope money back guarantee.
Yeah.
Plus, really, it's an income-based challenge because if you can do it, in theory, you're getting something back, but you need to post, right? That was the one thing that I didn't do both times. I didn't post it before and after,
fucked up.
right? I did, right? But I knew what I was getting into because it was more for I didn't need.
Hey, we got some old pictures of you.
I got old pictures of me, dog. But it's the real time one, right?
Yeah.
Now I understand, like, when I do this again, because it's not an if. I'm gonna do it again, and now I'm good. Like I feel fine because all I'm gonna do is
now
expose.
he's gonna post
now I'm gonna
it.
expose that.
Now it's easy
but
for you.
you got to think a lot of people
Hey, I
going
want you
into
to
that.
send me a side-by-side of a fat picture of you.
Oh,
and
we got the
picture of
poster.
you
We got the
holding-
magazine.
I got them in my phone right
holding
now.
the smashing greens, though.
I can do that. I got it. I got the side by. Now I'm like, I don't give a fuck because I look good, right?
Make a post, help your boy out, push
Yeah,
some
yeah,
sales,
yeah,
dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Hold
yeah.
on, before we let
Anyway.
you go though, how's your little brother doing? Because it sounds like this mindset kind of started.
Yeah,
from
no,
there.
he's doing good.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
doing good.
Well, no, right before we let him go, I have this one question that I wanted to ask you
Yeah,
too.
I'm not in a rush. Go ahead.
It's I think I saw you jumping out of a helicopter on this one show by this guy,
Oh,
MrBeast,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking Mitch,
Yeah.
right there, right? That's a pretty cool phone call to get, right? To be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit, just last story. Just how did you get that call, and just how was the experience overall?
Yeah, no, it was cool. My friend Kaj Larson, he's a former Navy SEAL as well, and he was an officer in the SEAL teams. And then he got out and went to Harvard, got his degree from Harvard.
Nice.
And worked at Vice News and CNN for a while, and made some documentaries, sold some stuff. So he's been in that space, the Hollywood space and stuff. Worked on movies, etc. And so he had some kind of connection there. They reached out and wanted some Navy SEALs for that role, you
Yep.
know, and he's one of my best friends, and we've done a couple things together. We're called the Iron Squad. Me, him, Jeff Gum and Ian Schnelly. We're the Iron Squad,
Nice.
the real Iron Squad. They all went to Korea and they did a show in Korea. It was like this challenge show where it was like all these military groups were going against each other. But they asked me last minute, and I was literally on my way to Jamaica like in 2 days, at the time. So I was like, I can't go. So they had to have some, replacement for me, and they ended up losing because of him. So now we're the real Iron Squad, and but anyway, so we got the call, and we were like, hell yeah, that sounds fun. So we went out to Panama because that's where we shot.
Yeah.
The whole thing was they wanted to do hide and seek, with the contestants, but the seekers were the Navy SEALs, and so in theory it sounds fun and cool and all that, and they bought an island. They bought this island that was, probably 2 kilometers long by like a kilometer wide,
Right.
Island. And it's a dense jungle island, in the middle of Panama Ocean. And they wanted us to, play hide and seek with these guys, basically. Like, we're going to hunt them down, and they were going to offer the contestants, this was like a side quest. and it was, you can play this, but if they find you, you're eliminated, and like the winner can win the actual island.
Yep.
Like, or the cash equivalent, you know, so it's like a big wager. And they didn't tell them that the Navy SEALs were going to be hunting them down until they accepted the challenge or whatever. And they wanted us to come in on the helicopter, and we were just going to jump out initially, but me and Ian Schnelly.
I saw the flip.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Navy SEALs, baby. ABC, always be cool. So we were like, no, we'll do backflips out of this. And then that made it a lot more, you know, of a dramatic kind of show or entry. But it was funny because, well, one, like doing the filming, that budget was like $100 million.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And if you have never experienced like that kind of, like, it's just whatever they want. Like, they just make shit happen.
Yeah.
Like, money
The
is just like,
production is-
it's like clay, you know, and you just mold reality to whatever you want. Like, they're like, oh, they built like this huge deck and put a swimming pool in it and like built cabanas all around in a matter of days. And they're boating all of this material and like hundreds of workers in, you know, and built all this in like 2 days. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. That's what money can do.
Facts.
You know?
Right.
And which is just crazy, which I already knew, but, you know, it's cool to see them in motion. And but we're there, you know, and we're like, yeah, we want to stay in Panama City so we can have fun in Panama City. And then they flew us out there every day on like a private jet.
Nice.
You know, or helicopter or whatever, you know, it's like whichever one. And we're like, well, you know, yeah, we'll do the helicopter entry. You know, that's our primary, like, that we'll want to do. And we got to practice doing it, and we're fine with that. But, you know, if for whatever reason helicopter breaks down, weather, whatever, we need to have like a secondary option. So we'll do that on jet skis. So you guys should get us some jet skis, and we need to practice. You know? So we spent all day just riding jet skis around like in the Panama Islands, beautiful water and islands and everything. And we're like, yeah, we got to practice. You know? Yeah. And so that was a good time. It was fun. And but also, like, they're thinking like, you know, these guys are Navy SEALs. Like, what do you think? We have X-ray vision? You know, like, we're fucking people too. Like, they didn't give us any equipment or anything, and it's just, this is literally just hide and seek in a jungle. Like, you know, we don't have night vision. It's not like we don't have thermals.
You got
we don't
a dog
have
to sniff
dogs.
around?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't have any of our equipment. So it's just real hide and seek.
It's hide and
you know, and it's just like, what makes you think this is like, you know, we have these superpowers or something? And this is dense jungle.
Yeah.
I saw one. I mean, or it was a guy. The one was deep into these roots.
Bro,
How do you find that?
I was crawling all through. I mean, it's thick jungle. Like, you cannot, if you're standing right here, and this room is not big, like, bro, there could have been 4 people hiding in here. You won't see them.
Wow.
Like, it is dense, thick jungle. And like I said, it's 2 kilometers by a kilometer.
Right.
That's a big
That's pretty
island.
damn big.
And we have like an hour to find them.
Yeah.
And they're like,
You're not even going to run the whole thing in
good
an hour.
luck. You know? Yeah, no, it's, and I was just like, I'll be shocked if we find anybody, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you met with MrBeast.
Yeah.
How was that experience and everything like?
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't spend much time with him. You know, I just got to talk to him briefly. He was there like the day of the shoot, you know, and yeah, it was kind of whack because afterward, like they were super happy with all the production and everything like that, and then they did a casting for an episode where they were gonna do an endurance challenge, and they couldn't tell you what it was, but they said it's gonna be an endurance challenge in the desert in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or wherever, and it was a cash prize thing, and they reached out and they said like, hey, do you want to audition for that? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Damn right.
Hell yeah, because you know he does big cash prizes for these, you know, suck fest. Like, can you suck up this miserable thing? And I'm thinking it's gonna be like walking across the Sahara Desert or something, you know. And if you do, you get $500,000 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do that
All
shit.
day.
Because I walked from Sparta, Greece to Thermopylae. It was 240 miles in 8 days.
Oh, wow.
Sheesh.
You know,
Damn.
and that was the hardest thing I ever did. And I did the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim in one day.
Wow.
52 miles, you know, over 30,000 feet of elevation. And You know, so I'm used to like that kind of shit. Well, I'll suck it up and do it. I did that shit for free.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I did that shit for free. So I will definitely do this, you know, and did the casting, and I actually got the part.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then literally like 12 hours before, I was like about to go to the airport, and they called and canceled. And they didn't give me a reason. And I'm like, I bet they saw some controversial shit on my, you know, on my Instagram or something, and they fucking pussed out. And I was just like, man, that's whack.
Yeah.
So that's that story.
I mean, it's a pretty dope ass story though. Overall, you got the opportunity to do that, and you got to see Panama City.
Yeah, no, it's
like
cool.
with your boys that you served with, but you're not serving. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of the leniency.
Yeah, it's like we're in a mission, you know, on a different cool mission that's totally different, you know. And it was funny because they were so happy and pumped with like us doing that, and how we like, you know, we hung out of the helicopters, and you know, so they're getting like great shots of that, and then like jumping out of the helicopters like we did, swimming up like in unison, and like this is like just very basic everyday normal shit for us in the SEAL teams, coming up, you know, all together in sync, looking like badass and all that. They're like stoked, and we're just like, this is the easiest fucking shit ever. But you know, then again, we realized though, it's like, but that's why they hired us and like Navy SEALs, because
it's easy to you. It wouldn't be easy for everybody.
Yeah, no, it's not easy
not
to everybody. Like this is everyday shit. For us, you know, and it's like, oh, that's why you get what you pay for.
Damn
you
right.
know?
Like we're trying to get this done in one take.
Let's call the SEALs. They'll get it done. Yes.
We got it done in one take, no problem. Like this is nothing. You know?
Mitch, how can the audience follow you, man?
On Instagram at Mitch_Aguiar, Aguiar. Same thing on YouTube. I don't really fuck with TikTok. I have one, but you know, I'm on there too. And yeah, my website is MASFSupplements.com. MASF, move and stay focused, supplements.com. And yeah, violenthippie.com. You want some cool shirts or whatever. And then if you're in the Hampton Roads area, you want to learn some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, come check out my academy, Violent Hippie Academy in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Damn right. That's what's up, brother. Mitch, thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks.
I think we might need to do this again because there's like a shit ton of other stories and questions I have for you.
Yeah,
and the battery's about to die, so I got to make sure we can re-up.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
We got Edgar the Sphere Munoz signing out. We got Edgar That Guy Doe, DJ Julian Rivera. Follow
Edgar That Guy Doe, Stephen Doe.
But Edgar Doe, Stephen, forget it. Anyways, DJ Julian Rivera signing out at Your Peak Life Podcast. Make sure you follow and like and subscribe. YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Until next time, deuces. Peace.